Hello everyone and welcome to my review of Baron Sebastian. Baron Sebastian is an extremely challenging puzzle map for Heroes 3 Horn of the Abyss about a Don Juan-like character who fights for survival against time and overwhelming odds. Diving into a challenge that will be a true test of your capabilities as a Heroes 3 player. This is a very unorthodox Heroes 3 map, and I will have to step away from my normal review structure. It features a great number of long and short-term puzzles intertwined with each other, coupled with many amazing fights that will test your fighting prowess. The map has a decent story in Russian to follow along, but the biggest benefit to reading the story messages, sometimes multiple times, is finding hints. Most messages have some very important information placed in them, sometimes clear, sometimes obscure, but these hints always help you figure out some details of what you need to be doing. Prepare for a map where every little bit matters, every piece of gold or resources has its purpose, and if you overspend by just a bit, you will fail. And not just that. You are given a bunch of different units. You'll need each of them for unique purposes which you need to figure out. This map is to be played with editor at hand. The map author explicitly suggests in the opening message that you do that and even actively use cheats to test your ideas. I found it way more useful to first nail down logistics part for a week ahead or so with the NWC Red Pill cheat, and only then figure out how to win the fights. Otherwise, you may end up wasting a lot of time on wrong objectives. Some of the biggest logistical hints are given as town events, and you may end up missing them if you don't take a corresponding town in time. For example, this way I missed one of the most important hints for the hardest logistics part, and eventually resorted to asking for help. The map plays exactly like a real puzzle. As you go along, you face restrictions and challenges, and as you eliminate them one by one, your puzzle shapes into a complete solution, one step at a time. The map also provides a great number of indirect hints that you can use to assess how well you are doing. For example, there is a number of timed quest guards that, on one hand, make you fail if you do something wrong. On another hand, it gives you a hint about order of action or how far behind the schedule you are, and therefore it may help you identify where you need to improve. There are many other indirect hints, and if you pay attention, you get a clear feedback from the map every few days on whether you do it right or not. They helped me a lot during my playthrough to maintain a semblance of structure to follow. Logistics challenge starts fairly light and gradually ramps up in difficulty, peaking at around a second week break, so around days 14 to 17, where you need to orchestrate a seemingly impossible task with three heroes working together in very unpredictable ways. There is a big hint that is easy to miss in one of the towns for this part specifically. After you deal with it, logistics again becomes simpler and the game becomes more focused around fighting. Let's talk about fights a little bit. You are welcomed by relatively simple fights compared to what awaits ahead. The difficulty ramps up as the time goes. Some fights, especially in the first week, are also set in a way that you can use as a hint for your logistics by eliminating fights that you can deduce as unwinnable at this point. That said, there is a human nature to jump to a conclusion of impossibility too fast. Many fights on this map may seem plain impossible, but every one of them has a clear and perfectly deducible solution. Even though this map doesn't force you to fish for RNG and relies almost entirely on your game understanding, it will make you wish for a favorable random time and time again, just like it did to me. simply because the skill ceiling is that high. Overall, fight quality is top-notch. Many boss fights on this map are clearly in the very top in my book, each representing a nice puzzle of its own. One thing worth reiterating is that everything on this map matters. If you are given a spell, even seemingly useless one, you will need it. But maybe not right away. If you are given an artifact, you will need it. A fun little fact and a tiniest hint for you. In one of the endings you are given a Berserk spell, which is known to be the most broken combat spell in the game. The thing is that almost everyone you end up fighting afterwards is immune to it, and ultimately you need to use it in a very unconventional and beautiful way, probably nothing like the way you ever cast Berserk. That's what this map is: maximum attention to detail and maximum reward if you match it with your own. This map is for everyone. You expected me to say if you watched my other reviews and know that I tend to over-recommend maps, perhaps. No, this one is not for everyone, not today. It's an amazing map. I enjoyed it so much and learned so much from it that I would like to recommend it to everyone. But it would be delusional to think that everyone will appreciate the depth of Baron Sebastian and enjoy it all the same. Most importantly, if you don't understand Russian, you'd have to be an absolutely exceptional player to beat this map, or you will need to find a way to translate in-game text for you. Besides that, I think it's a perfect map to try yourself if you find most common maps not challenging enough. And if you already have a solid grounding with combat, not relying on a spell trifecta of slow blind resurrection. Also, you need to have a solid understanding of logistics optimizations. And you need to be enjoying solving puzzles in general. And even if you check all of this, there is still a good chance you will fail on your own. That's fine, I relied on hints a few times during my playthrough. Some solutions have very obscure explanations, and looking up a solution or asking for a hint after you've been failing for some time is totally fine in my book. Otherwise, you may miss an opportunity to learn something new. And there is so much to learn on this map that it's hard to overstate it. That said, many of these new things are nuances that help you close small gaps in your already well-developed game knowledge, not a way to develop your fundamentals. My practical recommendation is, if you can get past week 1 on your own, keep going. And even if you think you aren't ready to beat this map yourself, the playthroughs can still be genuinely entertaining. It's the kind of a map where every win feels earned. Just keep in mind there are a lot of nuances, so without solid fundamentals it can be hard to see why certain choices are correct, even though I do try to explain some of them in my playthrough. If you want to get a real learning value out of it, the best way is to play alone, pause at key fights or decision points and try your own idea for a bit and then watch the playthrough solution. One last thing, there is an excellent in-depth resource on Heroes 3 mechanics called Pizmig. It's in Russian, but nowadays with LLMs it's possible to translate it to a coherent English. It contains many small details that were in one way or another used by the map author, and carefully reading it may help you. Also, I can't recommend this resource highly enough, even outside of this map, for your general development as a player. That's it for my review of Baron Sebastian. If you played it, let me know what you think about this map, how far did you get, and if you agree with my opinion. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.